Hi there. This class is an example of what I've been doing from my studio at home during lockdown, and the class that you're about to watch is at an intermediate level, so I hope you enjoy it. And then come to sitting on the mat. Roll yourself back one vertebra at a time. Get yourself into the relaxation position. So have your band to hand before you start, but we'll just take a moment just to settle our bodies, bring our focus onto our bodies, releasing any tension. So scanning your bodies from your feet. Make sure that your feet are feeling really light and flat, so your heels are reasonably near your buttocks. Neither turned in nor turned out. Pelvis in neutral, make sure your buttocks are switched off, so there's no tension in your thighs or your buttocks. Have that sense of your spine lengthening away from your lower back and lengthening your neck, lengthening away from the shoulders. Soften your face, shoulders nice and open, arms by your side, and have that sense of a gentle length from your shoulders down your arms beyond your fingertips. And then a couple of nice deep breaths into the base of your rib cage here, but keeping your alignment, keeping your face soft, keeping your shoulders relaxed. So keeping this sense of relaxation and focus, let's do our leg stretches of the band. So let's start with the right leg. Wrap the band around the ball of the foot. Hold the band one end in each hand. Elbows can relax on the mat so you don't start bringing tension into your shoulders. Pelvis stays in neutral and your pelvis stays grounded, and you lengthen your heel away from your sit bone, which is the bone in the middle of your buttocks. And breathe into this. Use the band to gently encourage your leg further up towards the hip without lifting anything off the mat. So really important to keep straight behind the knee so that you stretch out both your calves and your hamstrings to the full extent. And as you release at one point, you gently encourage the leg a bit further up towards your upper body. But make sure the thighs still stay relaxed. You're not tensing your leg in any way. And now working from the outside of the ankle, turn the sole of your right foot in. Initially, your right toe should stay in line with your right shoulder. So you're not turning your foot into the midline of the body. You're keeping it in line with the shoulder. And then if you're not getting much of a stretch here, take your leg a few inches across your body. But as you do so, don't let the right hip come off. Keep straight behind the right knee. Now take both ends of the band in your right hand. Point your right foot and take your right leg away from you out to the side. You can relax your bent left knee out the other way. So you can either encourage your right foot up towards your right shoulder or take your right foot down towards the floor, which will mean it's further away from the right shoulder, but it gets in a slightly different area. So wherever you feel the tightest, work that out for yourself. But watch your wrist alignment, the back of your hand and the back of your forearm on one straight line. Still keep your body relaxed. So still keeping your focus on how your body is feeling, being aware of your body, shoulders staying relaxed, breathing staying regular. And now bend your right leg to bring it back above the hip, and your left knee can come back up in line as well. So now swap the band into your left hand, back to a flexed right foot, not turned in, and isolate the leg across the body without the right hip coming off initially. So have your right arm by your side, keep your right shoulder on the mat, and isolate your right leg across. It doesn't go that far usually because it's usually too tight. Again, keep straight behind the knee, keep reaching away through the heel. And now you can relax the bent left knee out of the way, and now you can let the right hip slowly come off. Don't just jam it over, just let it ease over, keeping the right shoulder blade on the mat. And now the line of tension is the right foot towards the left shoulder. But let the band support your right leg. Just check you're not holding on to any tension there. If you want, you can turn your face towards your right shoulder to get a gentle stretch in the left side of the neck. Keep the jaw relaxed and the face soft. And breathe into where the tension is in your hip, behind the leg, the right leg. And relax into this. We'll stay here for a few more breaths. And now bend your right knee right into your chest. Use your core to come back to the center so you don't arch your back in any way. And then bring your left foot into the band. Drop your right foot down onto the mat in line with the right hip. And then back to holding the band, one end in each hand. So you've got equal tension either side of the left foot now. So still keeping the pelvis grounded. Flexing the foot, reaching the heel away from the mat and using the band to gently encourage your left leg above the left hip. Make sure the foot isn't turned in. So again, your big toe on the left is in line with your left shoulder, not in the midline of your body. And now let's work the outside, or stretch the outside of the ankle. So turn the sole of your foot inwards. And then if you're not getting much of a stretch here, you can take the leg across the body. But keep straight behind the knee. The hip isn't coming off, it's just the leg. So you're getting a stretch on the outside of the ankle, the outside of the shin, sometimes going up into the hamstring, the outer hamstring. And now take both ends of the band in your left hand, point your left foot, and take your left leg out to the side. So you're pointing the left foot and you're turning the left leg out slightly from the top of the thigh. Your right knee is pointing or relaxed out the other way, checking your wrist alignment. So either high towards the left shoulder, or you take your left foot down towards the floor. Again, work out where your tension is. But keep the leg turned out and keep the toe pointed. Keep the shoulders relaxed on the mat. Again, if you want, you can turn your head towards the left shoulder to get a stretch in the right side of the neck. We're not going to stay here too long. And now bend your left leg slightly to bring it back above the hip. Bring your right knee up as well. So now back to a flexed left foot and both ends of the band in your right hand. Isolate the left leg across the body without the hip coming off initially, reaching away through the heel and keeping straight behind the knee. Again, keep your focus on the body. Check you're not tensing up anywhere else. Just try and isolate the area that you're stretching. And now you can relax the bent right knee out of the way and let the left hip come off with the left leg going over, aiming to be parallel to the floor with you, but your left shoulder staying where it is. And we'll stay here for a little bit longer so you can get a bit more of a stretch on the right side of the neck by turning your head to the left. So breathe into this, just let your leg relax into the mat. Wherever you've got that tension, visualize it releasing. Couple more breaths. And now bend your right knee into your chest, come back to the center and take the band away and put to one side. And then take your light weights. We're going to do the hundreds. We're going to start from the double knee fold. But the challenge is when you extend your legs, is that you see how how low you can extend them without any strain on your lower back. So you have to work really hard from this transverse abdominal to keep it back in neutral. So arms by your side, use your core, come into a double knee fold. Bring the legs together in the center and keep that inner thigh, inner ankle connection. We'll do 100 straight off, arms by your side. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, curl yourself up, lengthen your arms and extend the legs. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 5 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 20 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 30 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 40 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 50 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 60 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 70 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 80 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 90 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 out. 2, 3, 4, 100. Still your arms, bend your knees in, curl yourself back down and hug your knees into your chest. And keep the knees together, hands on the knees. Let's do some of those lovely circles on our lower back, going right round the edge of the pelvis, that back rim there. Just give ourselves a nice little massage, and then let's do a few circles in the opposite direction. Really bring the knees up. When you take the knees away, don't arch your back, use your core to prevent that. One more little circle. Back to the center and hug your knees in. And then using your core, come out of your double knee fold. Lengthen your legs away. We're going to roll ourselves up. Sitting on your sit bones, lengthen from the lower back, come over your legs and get a nice stretch, focusing your breath into your back here. And then walk your hands back up your legs to sit tall. And then let's come to standing. So we're going to do our roll downs into downward dog. Into plank actually, first of all, with our press ups. No more than 10 press ups. But you don't have to do 10, just do however many you feel like. We're going to do 3 sets of the press-ups, so you don't have to do 10 for each set if you're getting very tired. So let's just take a moment to get ourselves into good standing posture, legs hip-width apart. Try and keep the legs hip-width apart, so when you come out of your plank, you don't lose that. Pelvis in neutral without using the buttocks, just use your core. Breathe in to lengthen through your spine, keeping your shoulders down. And then start your roll down from the top of your neck. So we'll hold each roll down at the bottom just to get that nice stretch, opening out of our back and stretch behind our legs. So just let your head completely hang without any tension in the face, the shoulders relaxed. Breathing into your back to get that lovely stretch through the back of the legs. And then walk yourself into a plank. Take a moment just to think about your plank. So the shoulders over the wrists, tummy in, shoulders away from the ears. And then just do however many press-ups you want. Don't dip in the middle, just bend your elbows and straighten them again. From your plank position, come into your long downward dog. Trying to get your head as near to the floor as you can, your heels as near to the floor or the mat. And then walk your hands back however far you want for your walking on the spot. So coming onto tiptoes with both legs to start. Then bend one knee as you stretch and ease the other heel to the floor, up onto tiptoes before you swap over. So you always come back to straight legs. So again, you're stretching out those calves a bit more. If you keep your knees bent, you don't get such a good stretch. Do about 8 of these. So if you're very tight in the calves, your hands will be nearer to your ankles. If you're not so tight and want a bit more of a challenge, they'll be further away from your ankles. When you've done your walking on the spot, then up onto tiptoes and see how far you can get both your heels to the floor. Again, get your head a little bit nearer to the floor and the mat, and then walk your hands back. Try not to sway too much. Keep nice and stable in your shoulders and body, and then you draw your body down towards your legs when you're all the way back there. Then let your arms hang, keep the head hanging, scoop in the core, work from the pelvis, restacking your spine from the base all the way up to the top. So let's do 2 more sets with the plank and the press-ups. When you're at the bottom of the roll down, stay here for a breath. Just to maximise those nice stretches, and walk yourself into the plank. And then do your press-ups. And then your long downward dog. Getting that really nice stretch. And then the walking on the spot. I said before, it's not a particularly strong half stretch, but it really does make a difference. The first set, you really feel that stretch of the heel going down, and after that it becomes so much more easy. And always at the end, see how far you can get both your heels down, getting another nice stretch in the back as well. Hips going up to the ceiling, head towards the mat before you walk your hands back. And then hold on behind your legs and draw your body down towards the legs before you roll yourself up, letting your arms just hang. Don't bring your shoulders up to your ears at any point. Keep them nice and open. Get the pelvis all the way back round to neutral, and the rest of the spine just comes up on its own. So if you're getting tired and want to intersperse and do just a roll down before you do the next set of plank and press-ups, then do so, because we're going to do 2 more roll downs, one of which won't have the plank part of it. So at the bottom, focusing your breath into your back, always staying grounded through the heels, lengthening your bottom away from the heels in this roll down position. Making sure you don't dip your neck when you do the press-ups. The only thing that's moving are your arms. And because you're bending your arms, then your body lowers. Hopefully by now, when you're in your long downward dog stretch, you feel you're getting a little bit more of a stretch, head a little bit nearer to the mat. And then when you're walking on the spot, not feeling nearly so tight in the heel and the calf. And then both heels down, head towards the mat, walk your hands back. So we'll do a flat back stretch here, but then we'll also do some extra hamstring stretches. So bend your knees so more of your hand can reach the mat than could otherwise do. So keep those knees hip width apart, and then see how much you can straighten behind the knees as you Straighten the legs. Keep the hands in their new position. And do about 4 or 5 of these bends and stretches, keeping the heels grounded. Stretch and then roll yourself up. So let's finish with just a straight roll down. We'll do the flat back stretch and those extra hamstring stretches at the same time. So breathing in, lengthen through your spine, and then rolling your neck down. So rolling down as far as you can. Get this flat back stretch first, as further straighten behind the legs, or gets further up towards the hamstring attachment here near the buttock, and then bend the knees, hands on the mat. Do about 5 of them. And then roll yourself up. Good, that's woken us all up because it's given us a good stretch. So let's stretch our inner thighs a little bit more and get some rotation in our spine with the giraffe. So have your feet wide, feet pointing out. Make sure you're not sticking out your bottom. We'll do our normal 3 each way. So hinging from these hip creases, come forward with a flat back. And just hang yourself in the middle for a couple of breaths. You can adjust your legs a bit wider or not so wide. And just hang there. Keep the legs straight. Now remember, the hips and the legs stay in this position. Nothing moves. The hips stay where they are. The legs stay straight. And then you rotate your body over one leg from the waist, with the forearm coming across and holding onto the outside of that leg. And then your arm works as a long lever to wrap the barrel of your ribcage around your spine as if it were a slippery pole. Looking towards your fingers up at the ceiling to get as much movement in your neck. Make sure the shoulders stay away from the ear. Stay up for 1 or 2 breaths, then you bring that top arm down, back to the center. Just check your legs haven't bent in any way and the hips haven't changed. And then go on to the other side. It's always nice to hold these stretches, definitely for 1 breath, if not a couple, just to allow everything to adapt to the new position and just get a little bit more movement each time. So always keep your far hip back, if it's not coming with you. That's where you'll get the extra stretch. I'll do 1 more on each side. And then when you've done your 3 each side, hang in the middle. I like to take my legs a little bit further, as I've stretched out a bit by now. And just relax into this. Just keep your face soft, your shoulders relaxed, the legs straight, and really enjoy this stretch on the inner thighs. And then heel toe your feet back to hip width apart. And then keep your head down and relaxed, scoop in the core and roll yourself up. Good. So we're going to do the arm weights now. So have a quick sip of water if you need to. So remember, you're keeping any tension out of your shoulders and your neck. So we'll do 3 sets as normal, and I'll try and remember to give a little bit of time for you to swap to slightly lighter weights or heavier weights on the 3rd set. So feeling nice and grounded in a good standing posture. So keep the sense of length in your spine though, even though you're nice and grounded through the legs into the mat. Arms up in line with the shoulders, palms down. Keep a gentle connection with the core as the body stays still as you isolate the arms. You're turning your palms up as you bring the weights into you. As you straighten your arms, the palms go down. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Out to the side, not too far back, just in front of the shoulders, up and in, straighten and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Into your collarbone, up to the ceiling and down. So keep the shoulders down as arms go up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Arms by your side, up to the shoulders and down to the hips. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think we're just doing 5 of those, aren't we? Then 5 out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Set number 2, just check that you're not just gripping on with your fingertips. Use the whole of your hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's Cobra saying good morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Into the collarbone, up to the ceiling. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Arms by your side and up to the shoulders and down to the hips. No swaying in the body. Use the core, stand nice and tall. 4, 5, and out to the side. Again, shoulders down as the arms come up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if any of you want to swap to a slightly lighter weight, now's your moment. Just do a few little wriggles in the shoulders. Just turn the head each way. And then the 3rd set coming up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Into your shoulders and up to the ceiling. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And last 2 lots of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more, and 5. Well done. Put your weights down. Give ourselves a little stretch. Have another sip of water if you wish. So bring one arm across the body, drawing it across from above the elbow, but keeping the shoulder down and drawing that shoulder back. So you're trying to isolate the stretch across the top of the arm and shoulder there. So we'll just stretch them out now, so we'll do the backward leg kick shortly to work the back of our arm. So make sure that we're nicely stretched in the triceps here now. So interlinking your fingers or just pushing your elbow up to the ceiling. Try not to compromise your neck and don't arch the back. So hips forward, tummy in. And then let's do the other arm. Keeping the shoulder down and drawing the shoulder back as you pull the arm across. But don't bring the shoulders across. The shoulders stay square at the front. They're not coming with you. And then release. Excellent. So come to sitting on the mat and let's roll ourselves back. We'll do a little bit of core work. So make sure you've got your ball to hand. So roll yourself back one vertebra at a time. I hope you can hear me. And then push the ball underneath the pelvis so that you don't feel at all vulnerable in the lower back. You feel nice and supported, but just check you're not tipping your pelvis forward, so just use your core to keep your pelvis back. Just get yourself where you can feel nice and stable. And then you can either have one arm around your waist or both arms. Use your core and come into a double knee fold. So we're going to do the leg up to the ceiling and lower, but we're going to do each side, each lift and lower twice. So breathe in and point one foot up to the ceiling, stretch behind the knee, and then lower that leg down towards the mat. Bring the leg back up, do another lower and lift before you bend back into the knee fold. And then the other leg, so we're going to do 10 of these. So it's lower, lift back up, lower and lift back up before you bend back into a knee fold. So take the leg as low as you want, or hardly low at all, depending on how you can keep the pelvis back in neutral. But I think you're all pretty okay with this now. As you go lower, don't let the pelvis come with you. Pelvis doesn't move at all. If you find that you're going off to one side, make sure you come back to the center of the ball before you continue. Otherwise, you're going to work one side of your muscles more than the other. So you'll be doing 10 in total, so you'll end up having done 5 on each side. Hopefully by now most of you have got both arms around your waist. Keep the shoulders relaxed. The only thing that's really working like crazy is your core. It's controlling your pelvis, stabilizing your pelvis as you lower the leg and drawing that leg back up. So one more set on each side. If you let your mind wander away and lose that connection with the core, it's not going to be nearly so easy. And then when you've done your 10, still using your core, come out of your double knee fold. Your back isn't arching. Then lift the pelvis and take the ball away, and then roll your spine back down onto the mat. Put your ball to one side. Bring your legs together in the center. We're going to do the half teaser with rotation. So the feet stay flat, but they don't have them too near to your buttocks, otherwise it's quite hard. So you can either start with your arms by your side or your arms above the head. And we're going to aim to do 6 each side. So you can either do 6 on one, then 6 on the other, but don't alternate for 12, or do 2 sets of 3. So keep the legs together, extend one leg, the knees stay together. And in that 6 on one side and then 6 on the other, on each side, do at least 2 sets of rotation. So when you've rolled up, hold onto the leg wherever you can reach. Take one arm to the back, come back to the center, hold on with the other arm, and then take the other arm back. So do 2 sets of those on each side amongst your 6. I'm going to do the first and the last. So if you're starting to struggle, swap sides. Just do what you can coming up using your tummy and not your shoulders. And remember that when you go back, you must tuck the pelvis under first. And you must make sure that you keep your spine in the center, that you don't slightly wobble left or right. This is my 6th on this side, so I'm going to do rotation. Keeping the shoulder down, rotate through the waist and the rib cage. Tuck pelvis under one vertebra at a time, and then I'm going to swap my legs. Do 2 sets of rotation on this side. This is my first set. This is really good for getting the obliques, as well as getting that flexibility in your spine, and all your other abdominals are working. See how far you can come to sit up. Do my last 2nd set of rotation on this one too. And then circle my arms back round by my side and back into my relaxation position. So let's come back up to sitting, and we're going to do that backward leg kick. So roll yourself up. Let's get a nice stretch over our legs. And then restack the spine. So bring your legs, make sure your legs are hip width apart. Place your hands behind your lower back with your fingers pointing in. The arms stay straight throughout this and the shoulders stay down. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, lift the pelvis. Keep the pelvis lifted and level and do 2 kicks with the other leg. And stabilize with the other leg as you do 2 kicks with the second leg. Keep the arms straight as you lower your pelvis back down. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, lift. Keep the pelvis level as you do 2 kicks on one side. Stabilize with the other leg as then you swap over the kicks with the other leg. Keep the arms straight as you lower the pelvis back down and then come off your wrists. So even if your wrists aren't hurting, come off them and then do a few wrist circles and clench and flick your fingers to release the forearm muscles. And then let's do another set here. Take a breath in, breathe out and lift. Kick, kick, swap legs, kick, kick, and then lower the pelvis. Breath in, breathe out, lift, kick, kick, swap legs, and 2 kicks on the other side. If you don't want to do 2 kicks, just do 1. If you don't want to do any kicks at all, don't do any kicks, then come off your wrist. Just lifting your pelvis and holding it there will strengthen your arms. The kicks, what they do is they actually strengthen your buttocks because the leg that is supporting you, that is working into your buttocks. We'll do 1 more set. So just do it at whatever level you feel comfortable. For goodness sake, don't strain any part of you. Take a breath in, breathe out and lift. Kick, kick. Remember to keep your legs in line with the hips. As you lower them, they haven't come into your midline or even worse, outside your body. Then next, last set. And lift. 2 kicks on one leg. 2 kicks on the other. Lower your body back down. And you're coming off your arms for good. Good. So hopefully tomorrow you'll feel that in your triceps. A really good one for the triceps. So let's roll ourselves back. We're going to do the rollover. So make sure you don't have a head cushion. If you've got a hair clip, you might want to take that out. So roll yourself back. And the hardest way of doing it is with your legs starting on the mat. Have your legs together and your arms here. Or you can have your legs on the mat and your arms above. But whatever you do, when you do that, don't arch the back. So when you first lift your legs off the mat, they must not move your pelvis. If you don't want to start from that position, come into a double knee fold, and you can have your legs up to the ceiling. And it's easier with them hip width apart, slightly harder with them together. But never have your arms by your side, or you will use your arms. And then the other option is if you're really feeling not really very strong today, you can have your legs bent into you and then you just roll from here. So we're going to do 6 of these. So come to whatever, or you can mix and match. If you do a couple the really hard way and then you can't do any more, then go back to a slightly easier way. So just whatever level you can do without using any momentum. So make sure when you first lift your legs up, you're not arching the back. Lift your heels to the ceiling and then come over. It doesn't matter if you don't just come over very easily, but just keep coming over using your abdominals. First time you might not get your toes to the floor behind you. You just need to open up that back a little bit more, coming back 1 vertebra at a time. And if you're lowering your legs to the floor, don't arch the back. As you come up, lift the heels to the ceiling. As you come over, you're not coming into a shoulder stand. You're just taking your legs to be parallel to the floor. Trying to get my weights out of the way so I can make a nice stretch here. And then lengthening the spine back on the mat with control and lowering the legs to the floor. So engage the core in both directions. You're going to hold it here. Also, what you can do is you can get your feet to the floor or near to the floor. Take your arms behind you. Hold onto your toes and draw your toes towards you. Reach way through the heel and then stretch your back out. And then coming back down one vertebra at a time, using your buttocks, trying to keep in the center. Occasionally it's always quite good just to look up and just check you haven't gone off to one side. Don't hurry this exercise. It's not an exercise to be hurried. It's a lovely one, just rolling over one vertebra at a time and really enjoying this stretch here. If you can get your toes onto the mat, you can use that to get an extra stretch in the back. At no point are you ever coming onto your neck. The only reason that your toes go slightly lower is not because you've gone higher, because you've created length both in the spine and the legs. So if you're not managing to do a full 6, you can always do a couple of roll-ups and roll-backs. Don't ever create momentum. Don't ever strain. Just do what you can and then stop. And then each time you practice this, you'll find it gets slightly easier. You might be able to just do one more and then 2 more. Last one coming up. It's one of my favourite exercises, which you might laugh at, but it took me a long time to be able to do it, but now I can. It's just lovely. Good, and when you've done that, come back to your relaxation position. So we're going to open our back the other way and do the Cobra. So I'm just going to, sorry, I didn't come up very well there. I was going to go onto my side and get my hair clip, get my hair back out of the way. So get yourself set up on your front for the Cobra. So remember, this is getting flexibility in your spine in extension, the opposite way to a roll down, but it's also using the muscles between the shoulder blades. So you're trying to strengthen those muscles so you don't have to use your upper back muscles or put any pressure in your lower back. So have your hands wide enough that you feel nice and open across the front of the shoulders. Shoulders stay away from the ears. Make sure your front hip bones are on the mat. You're not slightly lifted, in which case you're arching your back. Try and keep your buttocks switched off at all times with this. So take a breath in. Breathe out, engage the core, not the buttocks. Roll your imaginary marble away until it's rolled off the mat. You've got a little curve in your neck. Then use the muscles from the base of the neck working down between the shoulder blades. If you want to transfer a little bit of weight into your hands, you can. Keep the shoulders away from the ears and stretch through the front of your body. So always hold it for at least one breath. I like for the first time to hold it for a couple of breaths. So if the back isn't willingly going much into extension, then don't force it. Just let it happen on its own. We're going to do 6 in total, so another 5 of these. Always keeping your core engaged, pelvic floor, lower abdominal. And using the muscles between your shoulder blades as long as possible. Hip bones staying on the mat and lengthening away from the lower back. And as you come back down, scooping in your core, get your elbows down when you can, so you start using your back muscles as soon as you can, ending with the neck and the head. So just another 4 in your own time at your own pace. Your focus is on each vertebra, working from the top, going down towards the bottom as you come into your Cobra. Staying up here, stretching through the front of your body from the pubic bone all the way up through the front of the chest, the front of the throat, And coming back down, scooping in the core. Keeping it off the mat for as long as possible. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears and relaxed all the time. And just allowing your back to open up in its own time. And it just happens. And then holding this stretch, allowing the muscles to adapt. So I'm going to do 2 more. So when you transfer your weight into your hands, obviously that transfer of weight gets a little bit more, but you're just never pushing off with your arms. As when you're up, just check your shoulders are down, hips stay connected with the mat. And on the way down, you're lengthening the spine from the front onto the mat, away from the lower back. Last one for me. And when you've done all 6 of your Cobra, come into your rest position for a couple of breaths, knees wide, feet together. Have your arms above your head and your elbows off the mat, and try and get your head onto the mat and your bottom back to your heels. And breathe into your back here. So as you breathe in, don't let the shoulders come into it. Just get your rib cage to expand at the back. A couple more here. Just allowing your bottom to lengthen and relax towards your heels. And then stay sitting on your heels or come into high kneeling if your knees don't like that. Restacking your spine to kneeling nice and tall. Good, so let's finish with a sitting stretch. So come to sitting on your mat or your yoga block, depending on your lower back. So if you have any lower back issues, then sit on a block. Or if you feel it uncomfortable and creating any tension in your thighs, then also sit on the block. So sitting tall using your core, having your legs in line with your hips. So I'm going to keep the left leg straight and bend the right leg so the sole of my right foot's on the inside of my left thigh, at whatever level is comfortable. Just get yourself back onto your sit bones, sitting tall and lengthen from the lower back. Walk your hands down your left leg and hold on to wherever is comfortable. And then draw your body down towards your leg. Again, the shoulders don't start tensing up and you're focusing your breath into your back. You're staying straight behind the left knee, drawing the toes towards you, or if you can't hold onto your foot, then just wherever you can reach. But use that hand hold to just draw your body a little bit further. You're lengthening from the lower back. And now walk your hands back up, your legs to sit tall. So I'm now putting my left hand on my right knee, rotate through the waist and the rib cage, to look over my right shoulder with my right hand near my lower back, sitting tall. If you have it too far away, you're leaning backwards. And then use the hand on your knee to get a bit more of a rotation. Both hips stay on the mat. And now bring I've got my left leg straight, so I'm bringing my right arm over my head in the direction of my left toes. Keep the left toes pointed so that we open more out through the front of the foot and the inner thigh rather than the back of the leg at this point. Don't look down towards the mat, but keep the shoulders open at the front and reach away. Your arm above the head is trying to lift your bottom rib away from the hip bone, and breathe in to the side you're stretching. If you're doing the same legs as me, it'll be your right side. And then sit tall, Place your hand behind your lower back again to get one more rotational stretch, looking over your right shoulder. And then come back to the center. So now straighten your right leg, having it in line with the right hip. Bend your left knee. Readjust yourself so you're sitting on your sit bones. Sit nice and tall, working and lengthening from the lower back. Walk your hands down your right leg now. Hold on to wherever you can reach. Each side is different. You get different stretches and different parts of the body. So just listen to your body. Don't force anything. Keep your face nice and soft. Shoulders relaxed. Breathe into your back. This is our last exercise, so let's keep nice and focused and relaxed still. Now walk your hands back up your right leg to sit nice and tall. And now I'm putting my right hand on my left knee, rotating through the waist and the rib cage. Look over my left shoulder. Keeping my left hand near my lower back, sitting tall. And now bringing my left arm over the top of my head in the direction of my right toes. Keep the right toes pointed and lift the bottom left rib away from the hip. So you're lifting up more than just folding over your right leg. Keeping a nice arc in your body. Keeping your shoulders open at the front. Keeping everything relaxed. And now sit tall and put your left hand behind your lower back once more, looking over your left shoulder. Get one more rotation in your spine. And then come back to the front. Straighten your legs and give them a little shake. Well done. That's a good start to the week. I'll come and unmute you all.